Hello, welcome to Should I Buy This Game? Featuring Mlem Space Agency. My name is Christine, and in this video I'm going to give you a brief description on how the game is played and then share a few things I may like or dislike about the game to help you decide if you want to add Mlem Space Agency to your collection. In the year 2075, soon after they took control of the world, cats set their sights on a new frontier, space. Feline specialists now compete for cosmic dominance. It's a fierce race filled with catnip-fueled shenanigans and rockets that go boom. Who will emerge victorious in this epic race, seize the infinite treasures of the Milky Way in their paws, and become the true cosmic conquerors? So here we have Mlem Space Agency, and the cats are getting ready for their first mission. And so the first thing we need to do is put a cat into our rocket. But before we do, we need to know what each of the cats do. So this cat here acts as a die worth 1 point. So if you're rolling and you need a 1-point die and you don't have it, there's one on board. This one here, if you land on a planet, you get 2 times points. This is 2 times points if you land on a moon. This is a parachute, so if you crash, you're still able to land on a planet or moon, depending where you crashed. This one allows you to go up or down a spot, depending where you land. This one gives you 2 times points if you land in deep space. This one allows you to start at the satellite. And this one, if you happen to be the commander and you get off before other people on the ship and somebody else takes over, they lose one of the die for their turn. So you have to decide who's going to go on the first mission. So maybe he wants to add another die in as a backup. And then the other person puts theirs in, and they want to land on a moon and get 2 times points. And then if you have, it plays up to 5 people. So if you have more people, they just put their cats in turn order. So it's time for takeoff, and we go over to the board over here to our rocket. For takeoff, we need to get this symbol, which is called afterburner, a 1 or a 2. And we have 6 dice that we're going to roll. So afterburner 1 or 2. So what they suggest you do is separate your dice so you can see what you end up doing. The 4s and the 3s do not benefit us this term, so they suggest you move them away. And then you can decide what dice you want to use, since we have 3 2s. Now, my personal thing is just to use 1 dice so you have more dice to give you the better chance as you move along. So in this case, we'll use the 2. And I remove that from the board, and our rocket moves forward 2. So now we need the afterburner, a 1 or a 3. So we roll them. Now what I do, I don't separate my dice. I see there's an afterburner, and I know that's what I want to use, because if you use an afterburner die, you don't have to get rid of it. So I'm just going to use that. In this case, it's worth 2 points. And so I'm going to move forward 2. Now we're looking for a 1 and a 4. I got a 4, so I always want to use my biggest die. It's the only one that actually works here. But if I got a 1, I'd want the 4, because you want the most out of the die you're getting rid of. So I move that off the board, and I move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're getting into the zone of planets. So if somebody wanted to, they could get off at the planet. But there's a 1 here. And so I know even if I don't roll a 1, I put that 1 die on my ship. So I'm safe to go. We're going to be able to move forward without crashing. So I needed a 1 and a 3. And I did get a 3. So I'm going to save my 1. Actually, I'm going to use that 1, because that way I can save my die. So I'm going to move forward 1. But if we go back to the spaceship, because I used it, it's going to get turned over. You can only use it once. So I'm here, but I still have 4 dice to use. So now the pink person wanted to go to a moon for 2 times points. So they could get off here if they wanted. And what you would do is you would come to the moon, and this moon was worth 4 points or 2 points, but because it's 2 times, it's worth 4 points. So then what happens is you go into your little points, and I'm going to get out 4 points with these cute little cat toys, and you add that to your area. So that person now has 4 points, but the blue person is still on. They're like, I'm going to go for it. I'm not ready to stop. So we're looking for a 2 and a 4. And we got a couple 2s, so we're going to go with the 2. I take it off my board, and I'm moving 2. And now we've hit this. This is part of one of the variants, the exploration tokens. And it recommends not necessarily starting with these, but I don't see why you wouldn't, because they give you benefits. So I recommend that if you can, I would start with this variant. It's just beneficial. So we land on number 11. And what this means is they now get to add a die back into the roll. You get to plus 1 die that you had to get rid of earlier. Now, because we used one, there's a pile, we pull a new one. It's now number 13 I pulled, and that one's going to go there. So we still have 4 die. We're doing good. We need a 1 or the afterburn. We got the afterburner. Great, because I don't have to get rid of that die if I use it. So I just move once. We're on another one of these tokens, and this one is worth 2 bonus points. So you just add that to your game area. And we put on another one. I got number 8. I just put on number 8. I still have 4 die, so he's still going to go for it. So he needs the afterburner or a 3. We got 2 afterburners, and now there were 2. So now he gets to move ahead 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we land on another one. And this one allows us to move 4 spaces forward. So we take it off. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're now on 20. Oh my goodness. Who could have guessed? I pulled another one. 17 I'm just putting down. We're at 20. We still have 4 dice. So we need a 2 and a 3. 2 and a 3. Oh my God, look at those 2s. And you know what? We're going for it because we just need to get to 25 to get to outer space, deep space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and he made it to deep space. He's the king, and he gets 7 points. So we go back 5, 5, 6, 7. That will add to his area. Now, I just want to say that this is really only like the 3rd or 4th time I've made it to deep space. By now, I would have crashed. So even though I made that look a little easy, it doesn't always happen that way. So I'm going to talk about what happens if you crash. So say we're back down here, and we needed to roll a 1 and an afterburn. And there, I got 2 4s. That means we did not get what we needed to move forward, so we crash. So if that's the case, we come down here to the end of the board, and there's a little rocket, and we just move him forward. And you have 11 chances to crash before the game is over. And so that's what it means to crash, is that you did not successfully get one of the die needed to move forward. And once you're down to 1 die, you don't lose it. You can just keep rolling the 1 die as long as you can make it up the track. And that's basically the game. So from here, I'm going to share a few other tips. Now, I just want to mention that mission we did up into deep space, that was just 1. Then you would pass the little rocket to your next player, and a new mission would begin. So I'm going to move over here now and talk about, this is another variant, the secret missions. And so you get 3 secret missions, and basically all you need to do is put one of your cats in these zones on the board. So for example, the secret mission for the pink cat was to go to this moon. So over here, number 9 is where we got off, and she went to the moon. So this token will get turned over and put back on your board. And then if you only complete one, you get 2 points. But if she also goes there, she completed that, it's now worth 5 points. And if she completes this mission, it's now worth 10 points. So that's another extra scoring bonuses that is a variant to the game that I'd recommend you add in. The other thing I want to mention is the planet scoring. So beside each planet, we'll have little 5, 3, 2, they're all different numbers depending, but first, second, and third. So when you're on your spaceship and you decide to come to a planet, whoever gets off first puts their cat at the top. Then the next cat to get off goes underneath. So you know which order you came. So this cat ended up with 3. So obviously he's in first place and would get 5 points because he has the most cats on the planet. However, the pink used their double scoring. So even though they're in second place, they would get 6 points because of their double scoring for a planet. Now, if the pink landed first, the blue still is in first place because of the number of cats on it. However, if they both only put 1, whoever landed first gets the full 5 points, and this one would get the 3 points. So you always want to put it in order and then across. If you had a third person, they would put it there. And if you're on a rocket and you both want to get off at the same place, whoever's the commander goes first, and then the passengers go second and third. And so that is scoring with the planets. And that happens at the end of the game. There are also some other bonus scoring. So if you land on 4 different planets, you can get this one, 5 points. This one is if you get 2 cats to the deep space, you can pick that up for 5 points. This one is 3 cats on 1 planet, you can get 5 points. Or landing on 4 different moons can get you 5 points. And the first player to do one of these can just take it and add it to their area. There's also a UFO variant that if you get the game, you can check it out and add it to your game, which is always fun. And overall, I think the game is super cute. I love the theme, of course, because cats in space is perfect. And I like how they did some of the planets with the ball of yarn. And then over here, we have the fish bowl and that. That's really creative and fun. I mentioned how I only use 1 die at a time to give me a lot of dice as I move up through, so I get options in my rolling. And then the other thing I like is I like to leave the parachute to like the end. So if you're near like your 11th crash, at least if you have the parachute, you know you'll be able to get off wherever you crash and put a cat on a planet. So that's another little tip I found when I was playing the game. The one thing I may dislike about the game is that it is quite basic, and especially if you're not using the variants for like your special missions, secret missions, getting places, or these, you're basically just rolling the dice and moving up the track. And so I sort of thought there might be a little bit more gameplay. So the next time I play, I'm going to add in the UFO and see how that adds to the gameplay. I've only been able to play a few games because I just got it. But that would be my only thing. But because it's easy to learn, it's easy to teach. They recommend 8+, so if you have younger children, you could play with them. And it could just be a fun game because, you know, as I said, cats in space. I mean, I was sold from the moment I heard the theme. And that is Mlem Space Agency. So let me know in the comments if you're picking up this game, if you've played it, and what you think of the game.